What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. I've never done a video like this before, and with the new year coming in and all that stuff, I wanted to start experimenting with different types of videos than I usually do, and this is one of those video ideas I talked about in a community post a couple days ago where I told you guys some videos that would be coming down the line. As you guys know, I've just uploaded a couple deck profiles recently, and currently I own a ton of different decks. Spellbook, Mermail, Photon Galaxy, Pure Mech Knight, Invoke Mech Knight, Phantasm, Spiral, all of these other decks. I have a ton of decks I currently own, and I wanted to sort of go ahead and start doing a monthly series where I tell you guys currently what are my 5 personal favorite decks to play at the moment, decks that I own, not decks that I think are the best meta relevant, because I think those types of videos get done a lot. So I wanted to sort of personalize it for me, because I always post my decks that I play in different deck profiles and test stand videos and duels. It's all about the decks that I own. Hopefully in the future, when it comes to duels, we can expand on the type of decks that we get on the channel and things like that, because I can't own every single deck in existence. But I wanted to sort of make a fun video where I go ahead and talk about my current 5 favorite decks, why I like them, what are the plans for them for the future, and things of that nature. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. Don't forget to check out Imperium Duelists also. Links to them in the description. Use that code, get 10% off on some great gaming accessories, sleeves, mats, these types of things. Yeah, let's go ahead and get started with deck number 5. So coming in at number 5, I have here in this deck box is Photon Galaxy. Some of you might have expected Photon Galaxy to be a little higher up, but right now I've just been trying to innovate with Photon Galaxy. I've been trying to innovate with a lot of decks that I own right now, and just trying to find different ways to play them. And you guys have seen recently with Mermail, I've completely shifted away from the link spam builds that a lot of people are playing, and I've been really enjoying that, and that sort of inspired me to try and change other decks that I have to see if there's any other fun and enjoyable ways to play them other than just the basic ways that I've been playing them in the past. But Photon Galaxy has been one of those decks that's a little difficult to sort of innovate with, because I feel as though I have it in a position where nothing really needs to change unless the support for the deck changes itself. So for me, I still love playing the deck. I still think it's a very decent sort of tier 2, if you will, if you go by a tier system. I think it's very decent around tier 2. Is somewhat budget friendly. I know Photon Orbital, this guy is still like 20 bucks or something. I don't know why people always tell me in the comments they don't understand why Orbital is so much money. I don't either. I got mine early when they weren't that expensive. But I think Photon Galaxy is still a great deck. It's near and dear to my heart as an old-time favorite that I played years ago. I just hope on the horizon we get some other support cards for the deck. Maybe a card like a rank 5, Photon Galaxy rank 5 would be super cool. But other than that, right now, I think the deck is just in a solid spot where it doesn't need any sort of innovation for me. I thought about playing like a Mech Knight engine or some other things like that, but I just don't feel as though they fit in there. But right now, it's just a solid deck. I like playing it, but I have to put it at number 5 just because it has gotten a little stale for me at this point. But I'm still looking and innovating, going to try to innovate the deck at least as time goes on. But I'm going to have to put it on number 5 right now, as I sort of put it on the back burner as we take a look at some of these other decks. And now, with that being said, we'll go and look at number 4, my 4th current favorite deck to play. So for deck number 4 here, I have DDD. Which is a deck which I just recently updated, and I have to put this deck at number 4 because I feel like it's getting there to be one of my favorites as time goes on. It just needs a little more time, a little more things to come out, some cards that I'm waiting for to come out. But I put this deck at number 4 because recently I've added just like a small pendulum engine into it, and playing Dark Worm and Supreme King Gate 0 and the Heavy Metal Foes Electromite in the extra deck, because I wanted sort of like a different axis of play style to go along with the deck. Because the same old plays the deck was making in the past, I had the combos down pat to just sort of ending on like, you know, a Link 3, Crystal Wing and Siegfried, or Crystal Wing and a rank 8, or Crystal Wing Siegfried and a rank 8 if you open up really, really well, some 4-card combos. But I wanted to sort of get away from that, or maybe hold on to some of those plays and add a bit of a different axis of play style. And that's what I think that small pendulum engine added in for me. And as soon as I added that in and found a way to incorporate it off stream, and I was messing with it on stream, but I had to get with the cards IRL, do some real test hands with some physical cards, sort of get the build where I wanted it to be, to try and perfect it to a TCG legal build that I could really enjoy playing right now. And I definitely think I found it. It's just adding that small pendulum engine in, and I've just been enjoying it ever since. Adding some more synchro cards and some more link cards, adding probably an Evil Swarm Nightmare in the future, as I said in the DD deck profile, which if you want to check out, I'll have it annotated up here if you want to check that out. But overall, the deck is pretty cheap. Main deck wise, I think it's actually probably one of the cheapest decks that I own. Extra deck wise, it can vary a little bit, but most of the stuff has been reprinted, Crystal Wing being one of those. But in the future, when we get cards like Gilgamesh and Needle Fiber, I think this deck is going to be so much more fun to play. Adding cards in like DD Ghost into the extra deck, and you know, lots of more, or into the main deck I should say, and a lot more synchro monsters into the extra deck. Because I've just been having so much more fun with synchro monsters lately, playing in Mermail and things of that nature, that I try to sort of do that to this deck, add a little more synchro plays to it, Dawn Dragster and Trish in the extra deck and things like that. But once we get Needle Fiber and Gilgamesh, I think the deck is, the ceiling of the deck is just going to go through the roof, essentially, because like there's so many neat plays that can be made with those two cards, and I've tested a bit with it on stream. And it opens up so many new avenues to play for the deck, and I will really like the deck at that point. But right now I have to put DDD at number 4 because I'm starting to increase interest in it right now with the new engine that I added in. It's not really new, but sort of new to me, I guess. And it's sort of sparked my interest a little bit, but as time goes on, I think it could definitely work its way up the ladder. Alright, so coming in at number 3, I have my Danger Orcas deck here. As you guys know, Orcas is getting a ton of new support. They just got announced an Ixies monster, a trap card. We have Orchestrated Nightmare coming out in Savage Strike, Overload Savage Dragon, which might as well fit perfectly into this deck with how it plays. But this is one of those decks that I picked up a couple months ago just because it was pretty cheap and it was pretty fun to play. But ever since then, I've liked it more and more, and it's just really satisfying to see the deck getting a ton of support coming out in the near future. I've been playing the Danger engine here, as you guys know. You might have saw it in my latest profile that I did, which you can check up, which you can actually watch by clicking this annotation up here if you haven't seen it already. I haven't updated it since then, but the only changes I made were cutting Armageddon Knight down to 1 and cutting Malicious down to 2, as the ban list said I would have to, you know, with those cards going to the respective numbers. But this is one of those decks that I'm really excited to play currently, mainly because I know what's on the horizon. We're getting a searchable and settable counter trap. We're getting a super awesome rank 8 monster that you can literally just Ixies change over top of one of any of your Orcas links. We're getting the level 7 card, Orchestrated Nightmare, which its effect is just fantastic. And that's a level 7, which works in well with the level 1 tuner we already have in the deck, and allows a completely like different axis of playstyle of the deck that we never had before, which is like synchro plays. I mean, I guess currently we have access to synchro plays, but they're just not nearly as optimal as when we have cards like Orchestrated Nightmare and Borload Savage Dragon to go into. But then we're gonna have Ixies plays and like even stronger going first plays with the new trap card we're getting. And overall, the play style of this deck is just something I really liked. I've always wanted to sort of play the Dangers in something and have a graveyard heavy based deck, which I think Orcas is definitely one of those decks. I like the fact that it can play Goes and Match. It can link climb really easy into cards like Borload and Boral Sword. That's just been really fun to play. Playing Topological Bomber Dragon and Trisbania has also been really nice because those cards against certain matchups might as well just be a free win. And overall, I think it's actually a pretty cheap deck to play, minus the Danger engine. Although I've seen some people play the Phantom Knight engine, which I do believe is a cheaper option currently, I would say, when looking at both engines combined. I think the Phantom Knight engine is definitely probably a cheaper alternative. I would recommend to some of you guys trying to play that. I know some of my Discord members are playing it. I don't know if I'll personally switch over to it because I'm just so invested into the Danger engine already, and that's sort of how I like playing it. But I'm just looking forward to the future of this deck. I think it could definitely be a top contender once we get all these new support cards, and you know, with the hits that maybe other top decks take with coming banless, it might allow this deck to see its way up to the top, which is why I'm really excited to play this deck right now. And that's why I put it at number 3. Now we'll go ahead and talk about my second most favorite deck. Coming in at number 2 is another deck that I just updated recently, and it so happens to be Spellbooks. You guys know I just updated it recently, and again, if you want to check the profile for that, you can check up here. There should be an annotation you could click on and check out the new profile. But one of the reasons I have this deck at number 2 right now is because, like, it's a deck that I've always really enjoyed playing and have been wanting to play for quite some time. That's why I picked it up sometime late last year and kind of got into a kick with it, had a lot of fun with it, but sort of fell out of interest with it because it sort of got, wasn't what I thought it was going to be, essentially. It was a little bit slower than I thought. Couldn't really find any other things to add into the deck other than just playing it like the way I have in years prior when I used to own the deck and then had to pick it up again, as you guys know. But adding the Mythical Beast engine in it, I must say, has been like a huge turning point for me. And these actually just came in the mail today, which is super nice. Throwing the Mythical Beast engine there has been like a nice turning point for me because it just allows the deck to do things it couldn't do before and has made the deck a lot easier to operate and play in this current format. And this engine fixes a lot of problems that the deck had, in my opinion. I've also made a slight change since the deck profile, which is to add Temperance instead of Justice, because I think it speeds up the process a little bit, getting your Priestess out on board and all that stuff. It's just a lot of fun to play, and I've been adding cards like Lost Wind into the main deck, which help the deck out even more since it is a really die-hard going first deck, in my opinion. And then additions of cards like Shaddoll Winda in the extra deck and bringing that back with Spellbook of Life is such like a harsh stun factor against a lot of decks, especially when you can protect your Winda with cards like Spellbook of Wisdom and all these incredible things. And who could forget about Spellbook of Fate, how strong that card still is to this day. Non-targeting, removal by banishing. Like, it's still such a fantastic card, and it's a quick play, like all these things, and the artwork on all these cards is just so nice. I think the deck is pretty budget friendly overall. The extra deck really isn't too important. There's not a lot of, you know, big money extra deck cards in the extra deck. Although I've been trying a small Sea Monster of Theseus engine, which allows for some synchro plays, like just Black Rose Dragon and Dawn Dragster and things of that nature. Nothing super expensive, but it's just been so many more axes of plays have been opened up lately for this deck for me, and just makes the deck a whole lot more fun to play, which is why I put it at number 2 currently this month. It's just like, I'm looking forward to the deck to play a lot more. I really want to get some duel videos up for you guys with the deck because I think it has a lot more potential with the changes that have been made to it since the last profile did sometime last year. And there's support on the horizon for this deck. Probably the Origin of the Prophecy has been announced a while back, and hopefully we'll get that sometime soon because that'll be a huge help out to this deck. And hopefully we get Spellbook of Judgment back soon because I think it could come back. It'll definitely help speed the deck up a little bit because it definitely has a slow play style to it. If that's one thing I could fix about it, it would be that trying to speed up its play style, and just hopefully getting Judgment back someday soon will help fix that problem. And now we'll go ahead to my favorite deck to play this month. Alright, so my most favorite deck to play this month, you might have guessed it, it's Mermail. Yeah. A lot of you guys were probably thinking that as the video started, and you would be correct to guess, but it's not going to be Mermail every month. If I would have done a video like this, I would say probably like sometime last year, I would have had this deck. Probably wouldn't even have made the list because I just didn't care to play any of the extra link or link spam versions. They were just all super boring with like Firewall and Gumblar. Just did not enjoy playing it that way. But ever since I've been starting to play it a lot more with more synchros and the Destrudo engine, cards like Gen X Ally Birdman, Sea Archiver, loading the extra deck with synchro monsters, I've just been enjoying the deck so much more, and I have so many more plans with it in the future by trying out cards like Librarian in the extra deck. When we get cards like Needle Fiber, the deck will be a lot more fun to play with synchro plays being way more easier than they already are. Cyber's Quantum Dragon's on the way. It's a level 7, and Destrudo makes level 7 super easily, and so does Mermail. That'll obviously be a huge boost to the deck because Quantum Dragon is such a fantastic card. Warlord Savage Dragon could be integrated into the deck too because I can make level 8s in the deck as well. Hyper Librarian was a card I was thinking about adding in the future because I think I have a little combo that allows you to draw 4 cards off doing some synchro plays involving Coral Dragon, Yazi, and Gungnir, or any other level 7. I kind of want to give that a try and work out a little combo with that. I think I have it figured out in my head, but not quite. You guys will probably see a combo video for this soon. And if you haven't seen the latest profile for this, which I updated it recently as well, you can check the annotation up there too if you'd like. But Mermails, I've always enjoyed playing it with synchros and ixies and things like that. And I wanted to get back to that recently, and that's why I cut all the links, and I'm only down to like playing 3 links right now. And I think that's all it really needs, to be honest. Unless we get the Mermail link in the future and we get needle fiber, then things might change. But I'm just having so much fun playing the synchro heavy build with the Strudo and all these other awesome tech cards that I've added in the main deck and extra deck. It's just been so much more fun than I thought I could make Mermail, because like I said, if I would have done this video a couple months ago, Mermail probably wouldn't even have made the list, because I was just sort of tired with the deck, was bored of it, burnout. Like, it's just no other interesting way to play it other than kind of going first and doing the same die hard link spam combo over and over again. And we also have the new hand trap card coming out, the Null Nun and Dogwood card, whatever its name is. But that card is going to be like searchable off of Pike soon too, which is super awesome. So there's some cool things to look forward to for the future of this deck as well, other than just Neofiber and Mermail Abyssalacia, which we will hopefully get sometime soon. But yeah, that's where I have to put Mermail right now. I have to put it at number 1. You might have guessed that at the start of the video, but like I said, might not always be at number 1. Like I said, Orcas might quickly take my number 1 spot soon when we get all those support cards after Dark Neostorm. Yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. This is the first time I've ever done a video like this, sharing with you guys my top 5 personal favorite decks to play this month. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what your top 5 are, or your top 3, or your top 2, or your favorite deck is to play this format. I'd love to hear your opinions. If you got any ideas for any other decks that I should try to pick up soon. I've kind of want to pick up BA to start, maybe the Phantom Knight engine. Was looking into picking up Necroz once all that stuff gets reprinted, because I love Necroz. Played it when it was at its peak, haven't touched it since, and kind of want to get back to trying the Zaborg play, because I think that's kind of fun to pull off, sending all those cards from your extra deck to the grave. Some honorable mentions I'll make are Pure Mech Knight, because I'm going to be doing a lot more work with that deck soon, testing out a Brilliant Fusion engine, a Spellbook engine, and Grinder Golem. I think that'll help spice the deck up a little bit and fix some of the problems it's been having for me lately. Mech Knight Invoked, an honorable mention. That deck has sort of been put on the back burner as I focus on some other decks right now. I still love the deck, but didn't make the list quite this month. Still need a little more innovation for that deck as well. I've thought about taking the Brilliant Fusion engine out of that and playing it like without it, but I don't know what I'd put in place of it. Maybe like a Kaiju engine. Not entirely sure yet. If you guys got any ideas for that, let me know, and maybe we'll see that resurge its way back up on the list. But yeah, that's my top 5 for this month. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to check out Imperium Duelist if you haven't already. Join Discord, follow me on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook if you'd like. And as always, guys, Winter Kill signing out. We'll see you in the next one.